Spoilers ahead for those who have not completed any Dragon Age game. Also, as this is a theory video, most of it is my own opinion based off of knowledge and lore found within the games, the World of Thedas books, and published canon novels and comics. Shartan is perhaps one of the most well-known historical elven figures in all of Thedas. He is known to both the Dalish and City Elves for being the leader of the Elven Rebellion and champion of Andraste herself. However, much about who he is was destroyed by the Chantry and monarchs throughout history. The earliest texts scholars and historians have recovered, which is believed by them to point to Shartan, was from the year -140 Ancient, some 30 years after the death of Andraste in -170 Ancient. This recovered text told a story about a trickster warrior rising up in a rebellion against tyrants. Given what we know from the end of Trespasser and taking a look back at this text with what we know from the end of Trespasser, we know Solas is the greatest elven trickster of all time, Finharel. This could mean that the text, which was actually seen to be pointing in the scholar's eyes to Shartan as a myth or being actual history, could be very well pointing to Solas, given the fact that Finharel is the most well-known trickster in all of elven history, as well as really one of the only tricksters in all of elven history, the Dread Wolf himself. This would make the tyrants, being the remaining 7 gods of the elven pantheon, Elgernon, Falandine, Durthamin, Andruel, Solis, June, and Gillanine. For scholars, the main point against Shartan being one person is rooted in the rebellions starting up around the same time, and even in which city the rebellion truly started. There was also nothing pointing to Shartan being involved in the rebellion starting up within the 5 separate cities. However, this doesn't account too much in the Age of the Dragon, given the fact, as we know, the Chantry and monarchs have done so much to try and get rid of any sign Shartan existed. Let's take a look at the one time we actually hear and see Shartan within the game itself.
I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser be. In this place I belong, that belongs also to me. Of what do I speak? It was my dream for the people to have a home of their own, where we would have no masters but ourselves. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and thus we followed Andraste against the Imperium. But she was betrayed, and so were we.
What is interesting here is we actually see and hear Shartan. As of Trespasser, from Solas, we know spirits can actually become a reflection of people who have existed and have done so many times in memories. Also, we know spirits can be bound to a location for a set purpose, as is seen within the library we visit in Trespasser. Given when this gauntlet was created, and by who it was created, it is unlikely they would have placed Shartan there if he had been many different elves, rather than just one. What, you mean this wasn't enough to convince you? Very well. Let's now take a look at what we know of him from what little survived the purging of him from both the chant and history itself. And we see 3 points remain unexplained to how they could have happened. 1. Shartan wrote a book which was given to Finris as a gift in the second game. This could be explained as being written by an elf who used a pen name, Shartan. Though given what Shartan means to the elves, an elf wouldn't have actually gone and used the name just to make money. 1. That would have been very dangerous because Shartan is a symbol of hope among elves, as well as a symbol that they can rise up and win, which is something many would rather not see happen given what happened in the events of the book, The Masked Empire. The second reason for this is the book is considered extremely rare. The only way every nation in Thedas would have destroyed the book was through prompting by the Chantry itself. 2. We have the champion of Andraste actually being Shartan. Now, some scholars, or fans, would say this doesn't hint to anything. However, the sword Andraste presents Shartan was received in the second game by the champion of Kirkwall, which is a third point, the sword being real. It is only mentioned in the Canticle of Shartan throughout all other pieces of history. Also, it has been proven countless times through these games alone, it isn't impossible for one to inspire many. Shartan might not have been the one to start the revolts in each of the cities, but there is no denying one elf could have unified his people and led them forward under Andraste in order to gain a home for his people. Even with so much effort put into making Shartan vanish from history, including the smoothing of his pointed ears in the stained glass, he still comes through in many of the Dalish and City Elves' tales. Given the fact they tried so hard to erase all evidence of Shartan's existence in the first place, is it really a surprise no historians in Thedas have been able to find proof of his existence or not? My theory is Shartan existed, that he stood beside Andraste and fought for his people's freedom, for them to have a place to call their own, even if he wasn't as great as the tales told by the elves within both the Dalish and City Elves, even if no proof is actually fully ever found that he was one elf. One elf can change the fate of countless other elves. My question to you, do you believe Shartan was one person or many, and why? I would love to see your opinions in the comment section below. If you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next theory video. This is Flamewing80, signing out.